Let's talk about the second after you mess up. And for those of you just listening, I put mess up in quotes because yesterday I talked about improving your ability to course correct. And so let's talk about the moment after you realize you overate, you skipped your workout, you just want to say screw it and dive headfirst into the bowl of chips. So that moment, it really comes down to being almost like a fork in the road where you can either spiral out of control, which is probably what most of us are used to doing. Or on the other side, you can recover, you can course correct, like I was talking about yesterday. But how do we actually do that? That's what today's episode is about. So I want you to pause. That's the first thing when you realize that you messed up, you made a mistake, you didn't do the thing that you said you were going to do, you went off plan. However, you think of that spiral initiator, that moment, I want you to just pause and I want you to literally take a deep breath because that deep breath is a chance to go from your brain saying, "Oh, I blew it. I ruined everything. I knew I wasn't going to be able to do this. I might as well just say screw it and start over on Monday or a clean slate, whenever that is." So pause and take a deep breath so you can actually catch yourself before the mental avalanche of negative thoughts and guilt and shame spiral takes over. That breath, a time to actually react, decide what you want to think versus letting your brain just roll with the negative thought pattern. Because I want you to know that nothing is actually ruined. You're a human being. It's okay. That stuff happens. You will miss, you will overeat, you will go off plan. That is fine. It's more a matter of what happens afterward. This ability to course correct matters more than the actual mistake, again, in quotes. So it's a thing that happened. It's not this character flaw. It's not a doomed personality trait. It is not this thing that your brain then needs to catastrophize, right? But we have a tendency to do that. So instead of catastrophizing, instead of saying, I blew it, I went off my diet, I'll just start back over on Monday, and until then, I'm going to go nuts, you just say to yourself, I ate more than I planned today. Or instead of, I failed again today. I knew I was going to fail. I failed every plan I've ever started. Instead of saying that, think, that was not my best choice. And the reason I know that this sounds kind of trivial or like something you might tell to a child, but that's how our brains are wired. We need to neutralize the language because, like I said earlier, this is not a character flaw. It is not something that is like defines you as a person. It's just something that happened. So when you bring back the neutral language to it, it gets us out of that shame and guilt spiral and back into logic territory where we can actually make better decisions. So instead of, again, blame, shame, guilt spirals, all those things, you can say, okay, well, what do I do now? So if I ate more than I planned, or if that wasn't my best choice, what can I do now? What's my next best step to do right now? Because it shifts you out of that emotional state, this spiral that we all tend to go down, and instead shifts you into an action oriented mindset where you can say, what's my next best step? What's my next best choice? What do I need to do now? And when you take that little bit of action, that is course correction. That is you getting back on track, back on plan. So you take yourself out of this emotional state when you mess up and you put it into neutral terms, and then you decide, how do I course correct? What's my next best step? What is my next little thing that I can do to get back on track? So maybe if you overate, you say, okay, did that. Number one, stop eating, put down the pizza. You don't have to eat the rest of it, or put away the bag of chips. You don't have to finish it, I promise. So stop eating if overeating is what we're combating here. Maybe you pour yourself a glass of water, you chug it, and then you're like, okay, that's my reset. Move on. You don't have to then eat rabbit food for the next 3 days. You don't have to punish yourself with some workout. You just get yourself into this course correction of, I did that. I'm going to chug a glass of water and I'm moving on and I'm right back on track. It really is that simple, but this is a skill that you have to develop. It doesn't just happen. Nobody magically knows how to do this, but it removes all the drama and the punishment that we feel we need to do to ourselves. It doesn't require any of that. It just requires this skill of saying, okay, that happened. let's get right back on track. No restarting Monday. This is not a personality crisis, none of that. All you have to do is just get right back on track with your plan. And that starts with the tiniest action. So it's boring, it's simple, there's nothing dramatic about it. You just decide, yep, I'm right back on track. So do that next time you find yourself spiraling. Get out of the emotional portion of it and right back into the logic, because that is course correction is an action that you have to take. It's not this mental gymnastics that you have to play with yourself. You have to just take one small action and then your brain's like, oh yeah, we're right back on track. So you don't have to punish yourself, just redirect yourself. That's today's daily bit of fit. Take it and run or walk or stretch. Just go move. That's it for today's daily bit of fit. I'm Coach Mack from Running with Bacon, reminding you that small steps really do add up. Make sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss a bit. And if today's episode hit home, send it to a friend who might need it too. And if you ever want a quick pep talk tailored just for you, DM me on Instagram, because I'm always happy to send some encouragement your way. You can find more support and my health coaching resources at runningwithbacon.com, or come hang with me on Instagram for some healthy fun. Until next time, keep taking those small steps, because you don't need a perfect plan, just a consistent one.